What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be doing part 2 of the breakdown of the Real Grit podcast that we were on with Neil Timmins. But before we get into that, what I want you to do is go and like and subscribe our YouTube page at Main Street Academy, Inc. We're fixing to be launching our new podcast, the Next to Get It podcast, where we bring ordinary, everyday people in and talk about extraordinary things that they're able to do through real estate. So let's get into this.
To get these people to pay off at some point, or you really just like, let them pay me off in 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the individual.
Sure.
So we're coming in right at the end of a conversation about seller financing. So we'll let this go through.
We do have a clause in our contract where they cannot pay off in less than 5 years. And if they do, they still owe us the interest for that 5 years. At all.
They couldn't hear the YouTube channel.
Awesome. Okay, good deal. So they heard about liking and subscribing to our YouTube page is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I apologize. We were having some issues with our audio as far as this YouTube video goes. So let's get back into this YouTube video breakdown.
Is there a process, is there a system to get these people to pay off at some point, or you really just like, let them pay me off in 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the individual.
Sure.
We don't mind going up to 20 years. I mean, because, the longer it takes them to pay off the loan, the more money we're going to make on interest. So
Right.
we do have a clause in our contract where they cannot pay off in less than 5 years. And if they do, they still owe us the interest for that 5 years.
So what we're doing is we're talking about a seller financing deal. The reason that we're not in a hurry to get these people to pay off is because we don't have any money in the deal. We use the BRRRR method, which stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. And so we use other people's money to purchase these properties, and then we turn around and refinance them that money out. We're maybe in 10%, maybe, and we like to try to refinance it all out if we can. That way we can turn it into more and more deals. So we're not putting a 5-year term on these properties because we want them to go out as long as possible, because the longer the terms, the more interest that's paid.
So, and that just kind of protects us, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're doing it to make money. We're trying to help these people, but we've got to make money in the process. But yeah, I mean, we've got some that they're making extra payments every month to where they're probably going to pay their property off in less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, they've got money, just not the credit. They'll be able to go get that loan.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, we're not too worried about getting our money back as quick as possible, because like I said, we're using the BRRRR method. So we have a down payment down on it, and it's like 10% most of the time, and we're going to get that out of the refinance. So we're not struggling to try to get our money back. Quick.
And our average spread, which Wyatt and I, we have our own companies, and we have.
So when he before he goes into all this, I want to talk about the spread and the different ways to make money through the seller financing method. You obviously get a much higher amount of cash flow because you have terms on the property. But obviously you also have a spread between what you purchase it for and what you sell it to these tenant buyers for. So you get cash flow off the interest, you get spread, and there's multiple avenues and you get the down payment. That was the third one that I was trying to figure out. The third one was the down payment as well. So 10% minimum down, you get interest throughout the term of the years, cash flow, and then the spread between there. And so he's fixing to discuss what our different spreads are.
We're companies together, so we buy, these type of deals inside our company together, and then we buy them outside in our individual companies as well. Yep. And, my spread, I like to keep mine personally at $70,000 between what I purchase it at and what I sell it to a tenant buyer at, where he's a little bit more lenient. He'll go down to around 40.
Yeah.
So
$70,000. Is that purchase to purchase, or you're including?
I'm a lot more lenient because I want to get mine sold faster. The more the quicker I can get it sold, the more I can do. Where Jon enjoys having that larger spread, I do too. I have some that are $50,000 to $60,000 spread, but around that $40,000 to $50,000 to $60,000 spread is where you're going to get that quicker sale. So,
including some of the payments in there.
No, that's purchase to purchase. So if I purchase a house, I'm all in at $100,000, and I want to be able to at least sell it to a tenant buyer for $170,000.
Where are you guys at in the world?
North Alabama, or right outside.
Don't tell me, because I might be doing business there.
Yeah.
Those are killer spreads, man.
Be. I mean, Huntsville, Alabama's a hot market, man.
Those are killer spreads. Yeah. No. Incredible. What makes, I'm curious, I've seen a lot of partners, see a lot of people work super well, seen partnerships, fall apart, get destroyed, whatever. What makes you two work well together?
Our wives think we're married, man. They all the time. But no, we have a great system. We're best friends. We talk to each other every day, all the time, and we have owner meetings every month where we get away from the office, we get away from the houses, the kids and the wives, and we're just like, hey, are you
guys? It is so important that if you're going to go into business with someone, you need to be treating it like a marriage. You need to be open and honest, having open and honest communication with each other all the time. You need to over-communicate to your business partner. You need to always try to be on the same page, and when you're not on the same page, you need to get on the same page. You need to learn to have hard conversations quickly. I think Tom Kroll says that if you don't have awkward conversations in the beginning, you're going to have awkward conversations in the end. So we treat our partnership just like a marriage. We're best friends. We talk every single day. We hang out on the weekends. Our visions, that's another thing. You want to make sure that your visions align, your morals, everything that you do, you want to make sure you're in alignment with each other, or it's not going to work. We have many friends who have been through many bad partnerships, and so you've got to be on the same page.
The first 10 to 15 minutes is, are you happy with what we're doing? Is there anything that, or is there any stress or anything like that's going on between us? Are we still good? And then we get into the business and what's going on with the business and things like that. But we do check-ins quite a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a marriage. You got to hold each other accountable, and you need to let each other know if you have any issues.
These owner meetings, man, I have been in multiple masterminds and multiple group settings where there are a lot of business owners, high-level business owners, and one thing that we always discuss when they find out I'm in a partnership is how do you guys is there anything special that you guys do? And these owners meetings are things that you need to implement into your partnership if you haven't. We just get together once a month outside of the office, outside of the house, away from the family, away from everybody. It's just us and we discuss the first question is, are you still happy with me? Is there anything that I've done that you don't like or that is making you have questions or concerns in your head? Let's get it all out on the table and discuss these things before it gets any further, right? And so these are things that you need to be having conversations about. And then once you get all of that out of the way, it's straight business after that. Okay, what are we doing for next month? What are we projecting for the next year? This, that, and the other. It's straight business meeting. But these owners' meetings are very important to get on the same page.
So
I like that ability to have open and honest communication and have these, call them owner meetings. I call it a pulse check, right? To see, hey, how are we doing? I'm not talking about the business. How are we doing?
right.
That is critical. It's a big deal.
And we're good at, we're really good at having hard conversations.
Yeah.
They're really not hard conversations for us. If one of us is doing something the other one don't like, then we're very open and honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have some heated discussions throughout the day. Our wives work with us in our company, and sometimes they're just like, they look at it like we're just full blown going at it, but for us, it's just another discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ability to communicate and be on the same wavelength. Other external folks won't understand it. You're guys like, no, this is how we roll. There's no problem, right?
Right.
Yeah. Talk to me about your team structure. You've got your wives there. So what does that look like? Who else is involved in the organization?
Right. So really the only other guy we've got is an acquisitions guy for the real estate company.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got an acquisitions guy. John handles a lot of the dispositions. We raise capital together. I handle all the marketing and lead generation stuff, but we have a VA that takes all the inbound calls and everything like that. So we're pretty much out of the real estate company as far as like the day-to-day grind. But that's where we're at.
So for the new people watching, let's talk about scaling the real estate business real quick. When you're just getting started, you're going to be grinding it out and you're going to be doing every position. But as you start to do deals and you start to get capital, what you're going to realize is that you're losing money by not putting systems and processes in place. You should always be working on your business and not in your business. As a business owner, let me say that again, you need to be working on your business and not in your business. And so for me, the first most important thing was getting a virtual assistant, a VA, a virtual assistant in place so that I didn't have to deal with the phone calls with the sellers. That was one of my least favorite things to do, is talk and cold call and do all of that. And so once that was put in place, that opened up an enormous amount of time for me, because all I was doing at that point was talking to people that were already willing and ready to sell their house. They're already vetted leads. And so that is extremely important. You don't have to put someone in place for that first. That was just something that if you love to have a conversation with people, if you love to talk to people, you can put someone else in place. You can put a dispositions person in place, an acquisitions person in place, whatever. But for me, it made the most sense to set a VA in place to take those initial phone calls. And then what I done was I was able to run the numbers on those leads and then go out on the appointments and look at these properties and put them under contract. Well, after a certain amount of time, we put an acquisitions manager in place who now goes out, runs the numbers, goes to the appointments, and gets them under contract for us. And so now all we have to focus on is dispoing the deal. And then we're hiring a dispositions person, and they're going to be doing all of that. So now that we're not in the day-to-day, we can focus on expanding and growing and scaling the business rather than, oh, I got to get another deal, I got to focus on running the numbers on these deals.
The only other guy we got in the office is a marketing guy or a videographer who does all of our coaching videos.
Yeah, and that's actually my son.
Oh, is that right?
Mike.
Yeah.
You got the whole family involved, don't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they get paid more than we do.
Tell me about the culture. How do you keep it together? What's the culture like with with everybody?
Right. Man, it's just conversation. I mean, we have meetings every Monday and Friday, but we're always together. We hang out. I mean, and when we're not, here we're hanging out at each other's houses too. I mean, it's just it's great. And our acquisitions guy, he's the same way. He's at our house. You know, we do Bible study together. You know, we have 2 Bible studies right now that we do during the week at the office with some of our students and employees and families. And then we also do church on Wednesday nights together. And I mean, it's just like a big family. We don't always, you know, see eye to eye, but we always are open and communicate and try to get on the same page.
It's cool how tight knit that is. If somebody was to come in, the next hire to come into your business, what are they going to have to look like? What personality traits, what are your non-negotiables for somebody to come in and come into this family, if you will, this business? What would that have to be like?
Guys, when you're looking to hire employees, especially non-virtual employees that are going to be in the office with you and your team, you really need to vet these guys really well and make sure the vibe, so to speak, is good and that they're going to be a fit for your company. And what I've seen is, with some of the bigger companies and the guys that I know, they actually bring their team in on the interview, a section of the interview, and let them have conversations with the new hires as well. And some have even, I think David Olds even goes as far as to take them out, after work and let them hang out with some of their guys. So you want to make sure these people are going to be a fit for your environment and not, muddy up the waters for you. Someone who's not going to be bringing drama, somebody who's going to be diligent and have the same morals as you.
We've already got somebody in mind actually that we're fixing to, hopefully towards the middle of the year, towards the end of the year, we'll start bringing them on. A good thing about what we do in the consulting side of things is we help people, get their first deal as far as beginners go, and then we help other people as far as the mastermind goes, set systems and processes in place and start scaling their business. The good thing about that is it puts us in contact with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
All right. So just kind of dropped a small nugget. We have a beginner's coaching course and we have a mastermind. The mastermind is more along the lines of helping experienced investors put systems and processes in place, just like we've been discussing, to help them get out of the business and into and working on the business. All right. We also have we started a beginner's class not long ago because we had beginners trying to get into that mastermind and they were not staying long term. And so we opened up this beginner's course to help people get their first deal, get consistent deals rolling in, understand the foundations of the business. So if you're interested in learning anything about those two, the mastermind or the beginner's class, DM me. I'd love to schedule a phone call with you and talk a little bit about it.
And, we have those 1 to 2 that come in just fired up, ready to go with the same principles, same, beliefs and understandings as we do. And we're quick to start, we help them in any way possible, but then we start to have other conversations with them about, coming up and working with us.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess you're probably also talking about core values as far as what we're looking at whenever hiring a person. Main thing is, we don't do shady business. I mean, there in no way, shape, form, or fashion are we going to lie or try to deceive somebody in order to get a deal,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. No, that's terrific. Tell me what's one little known tool, trick, or habit, maybe your core habit that you possess that largely attributes to both of your successes?
Oh man, our relationship with God, I would say.
For sure.
We've been through a lot in the past 4 years, and a whole lot of it has been the two that we've been together. And so we've grown closer together, but we've also grown closer to God, and we attribute all our success to that, man.
Tell me, in the last 4 years, what's been the most challenging thing you've had to go through?
So really what we needed to take away from this is that if you're going to get into a partnership with someone, you really need to have open communication, have hard conversations before you have to have hard conversations. You need to look into seller financing because there are a lot of different ways to make money on that. And if you're interested in getting into real estate, we have a beginner's course and a mastermind. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to be doing more of this, doing podcast breakdowns. We're going to be talking more about the Next to Get It podcast that we're fixing to launch hopefully next week. And just stay tuned for more because we got so much going on. We're going to be at Baumhauer's in Huntsville, Alabama at 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday for a networking pop-up. So if you're interested in coming and hanging out with us and networking with us, come out, have some great food, talk real estate with us, whether you're doing it or you're not. We'd love to talk to you about it.